However, another name that emerged at this point shook everything up: owner Salek. Owner was enraged to learn that Seher Hanım was aware of this visit, but had not been informed. Above all, being excluded from such a critical event. Regarding the custody of his own children, led him to adopt an aggressive stance again. It was learned that he told his inner circle, "While I can't decide about my children's future, Engin's mother is negotiating with Tuba. What kind of hypocrisy is this?" And that he will go to court to request an assessment of the impact of this private meeting on the children. In other words, owner's front is not very willing to accept this positive change. Toward Tuba, this seems to leave Tuba and Seher Hanım alone on a new front. Engin, on the other hand, has taken a completely different path during this process. The actor, who previously showed signs of psychological collapse by saying, "I don't have nothing to lose," he has now begun to live completely isolated from his surroundings. In fact, among the information received, there is even talk that Engin has reached an agreement with a detective firm in Paris to learn the details of the meeting between his mother and Tuba. These claims have caused a great stir in the Turkish tabloid press. It is claimed that the risk of Engin losing the custody case will further increase, especially if unethical methods are employed during the legal proceedings. His lawyers are currently rejecting this process, but most of Engin's recent decisions prove to be based more on anger than logic. In light of all these events, Seher Hanım's visit to Paris is not only seen as a maternal reflex, but also as the resurgence of truths that had been hidden for years. The claim that she told Tuba, "I no longer recognize my son," makes Engin's loneliness in this war even more evident. On the other hand, Tuba, emotionally devastated by this confrontation, is said to have begun to renounce her stay in Paris. It was learned that Tuba sought advice from her lawyers regarding a new life in a European country outside of Paris and was considering charting a new path for her children's education. This demonstrates that everything that happened has led to a fragmentation, not only legally but also geographically. It is unknown whether Seher Hanım will remain silent after this incident. However, according to rumors circulating behind the scenes, she has an offer for a television program. She is expected to give a special interview on the topic of motherhood and love for grandchildren, in a format appropriate to the family structure. If this happens, the public may witness for the first time another facet of events: Engin's childhood. But this could mean further destruction for Engin, because if not, even her family can tell her to stop. There will only be casualties at the end of the coming war. And this time, the possibility of return is more distant than ever.